everyone.
Welcome to the greencardmaker.com channel. It is a pleasure to be with you today, and I would be discussing the complexities of the H-1B visa. What is H-1B visa? This is a big question for many students who are going to school in the United States and would like to change their status from F1, OPT, CPT, or STEM OPT to H-1B, or the folks who are residing all over the world with a higher than bachelor's degree or equivalent bachelor's degree and would like to come to the United States and work for US companies or employers who would offer a relevant job to your degree. So all of these people could benefit from this discussion, and it will be an honor to have you in our channel and subscribe us as you go along in the future, so we can send you most up-to-date other immigration news as well as other visa matters. Having said that, the H-1B visa is a professional working visa. As I said earlier, this visa is used by the US employer to hire foreign workers in their specialty occupations. What does that mean? What is the specialty occupation? So there are too many things I talked here. So we're going to define those terminologies as well. So the H-1B visa must require a bachelor's degree in minimum to work for that particular job. What kind of jobs, right? Let's see, a restaurant manager. Does it require a bachelor's degree or does it qualify for H-1B visa? No. Most of the time, no. But sometimes it could be yes, depending on the size and the nature of that enterprise. If it's a big restaurant and it needs a food service manager or operation manager, that job might require a bachelor's degree. If it's a small restaurant, it might require a high school degree. So the job requiring high school degree is not going to qualify. On the other hand, the job requiring bachelor's degree, a bigger facility, or higher revenue, many number of employees, it might require a bachelor's degree. So at the end of the day, we need to analyze particular job, whether that job qualifies for H-1B visa. Just having a job offer is not enough. Whether that offered job is suitable or comes under the definition of H-1B visa law. That's where we need to have our analysis done. So this is where you're going to learn throughout this discussion here, how you're going to be getting an H-1B visa, which way you're going to proceed, how you're going to find these companies, how you're going to qualify yourself, whether it's related or unrelated. So we're going to be answering multiple questions today. Stay tuned. Thank you. In order to qualify for H-1B visa, one must have a relevant bachelor's degree in the offered job. What does that mean? If you have a degree in computer science, bachelor's degree in computer science, obviously you are eligible or qualified for the software engineer position offered job in the United States. Now let's assume you have a degree in civil engineering, bachelor's degree, but you would like to work as a software developer. Are you qualified? The straight answer is no. You are qualified for civil engineering job. On the other hand, after graduating with the civil engineering degree, you work a couple of years in civil engineering, then you shifted and you started to work in the computer field. If you have more than 3 to 6 years of computer field, computer related experience or in the computer field, then you may qualify for H-1B visa to work as a software developer, because we're going to combine your degree, which is a quantitative discipline related degree, civil engineering degree, plus more than 3 to 6 years of work experience in the computer field, can be combined and produce a US equivalent to bachelor's degree in management information system. Those kind of degree and experience would result in MIS type of degree. And that degree may qualify you for the software engineering job duties. So generally, you need to have a bachelor's degree or its equivalent in the related field. However, if you don't have that degree, but still it can be converted through the job experience and bring that degree and the experience as close to the offered position. So this way you have a way to get into the H-1B successfully. Thank you. Finding the H-1B visa in the United States is not an easy task. That everybody knows who has been looking for H-1B visa. Whether you are a software engineer working in India or Israel or Europe or any other country all over the world, everybody is interested to come to the United States on H-1B visa because this visa is very heavily used by the tech industry, from Silicon Valley to the Silicon Alley in Wall Street area in New York to all over the United States. Every employer has used one from the other, in one way or the other, H-1B visa workers, professional visa workers. So, but how to find these? Needle in a haystack. So that is the question I'm going to try to answer today. So the best way to find H-1B visa employer is going to the uscis.gov. So once you get to that site, or you just type in Google, okay? You can type H-1B employer data hub at USCIS site. If you type that word in Google, it will take you to the USCIS page where the employer data hub is there. In that data hub, there are thousands of employers who have recently filed H-1B visa. And they are, associate code type of categories, type of jobs, as well as name of the companies, from Microsoft, Apple, Google, you name it, to the smaller companies which have filed for every imaginable job: software engineer, DBA, computer systems analyst, data scientists, civil engineers, mechanical engineers, restaurant managers, operation managers, store managers, you name it, management analysts, accountant, lawyers, doctors. Every imaginable jobs have been filed through that site. And all of these employers are easily listed in the USCIS website. See, this employer data hub is very critical place to check it. And then once you find these are the employers in your area, in your field, these are the employers who have been filing H-1B visas, you can apply. Go to their website and start to apply for these jobs. Is it guaranteed you're going to get a job? There is no guarantee, because they don't know you. Maybe looking at your resume, they might invite you for interview. And that's how it's going to lead. There are multiple other ways, right? Labor Department also has a list of companies which file labor condition application for the H-1B visa. So you can also check the DOL, Department of Labor website. Now, number 3 is going to be DICE and Monster.com. Those are the US job sites which advertise for different types of job, including science, technology, engineering, math, management, accounting, finance, banking, to any other job openings are listed in those sites. So try your luck. Do not forget to still do the networking, connecting alumni, as well as going to the data hub of USCIS site and the DOL site. Good luck. I can rephrase this question from how to avoid H-1B denial to how to get H-1B approval. So what things are there to do or must to do, and what things are there not to do? So that's what I'm going to be discussing today for H-1B visa. Now, number 1, is there a matching degree, matchy degree, and the offered job must have a direct nexus between these two elements. Whether you have this matching qualification to the offered occupation is a very critical thing. So if you have a mismatch of the degree and an immigration officer or the adjudicating immigration officer doesn't understand how this degree is related to the offered job or the offered job duties described therein, then you have a problem. Those cases is going to get RFP, which means request for additional evidence, asking to explain how these job duties are related to the degree the person holds. So this is what I meant by mismatching degree and the job. In addition to that, they have so many other elements which we'll be talking item by item, but in general, you need to have a matching degree to the offered occupation. Then you have a pretty good chance of getting H-1B approval. Thank you. The salary, it is a big question. H-1B salary could be $40,000 to $250,000 or anywhere in between. It's such a broad area. This salary is going to have a much more importance as we move to the new Trump administration. If we analyze the past and look at the January of 2020 memo published by the Department of Labor as well as the Homeland Security, the H-1B salary was increased by 40 to 100%. So if you are a brand new graduate who just got a degree in computer science or civil engineering or electrical engineering or business management or accounting, whatever the degree it is, and you went to the market to look for a H-1B job and the H-1B employer finds out salary has been increased by 100% or 50% or 60%, or the level one wage salary will not work for the new administration. In that situation, your H-1B dream is not going to be a reality. The H-1B might not be H-1B. So you might have to just work on OPT and return back to your country. Or if you are a foreign situated person, you might not ever make it because the offered wage has been astronomically increased, which had the plan of the past Trump administration in 2020. So this is what we had seen in the past. So the salary is a big issue, and how to match that salary to the related job, to the SOC code, and define the job duties through that employer's eyes, and make it still acceptable to the Homeland Security folks is not an easy task, and it will not be an easy task as you move along after January 20th, which is the restrictive immigration policy of the new Trump administration. The salary is going to be a very big issue. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing this back again and again. But in the meantime, you must hire very knowledgeable and experienced immigration attorneys to come out of this complexity of the salary issue. H-1B job duties are double-edged sword. It could cut either way. If you define too much, if you put too many unnecessary higher level job duties, and then your offered wage on the labor condition application might not match, and case might get denied. Now, if you write too little and make it too vague, again, the H-1B job SOC code as well as the wage level might not be parallel to the job duties, or job duties might be confusing to the adjudicating immigration officer, who might end up denying the case or issuing the RFP to get further clarification on those job duties, or again, even after giving the explanation, he might not believe and end up denying the case. So finding that right balance, the Goldilocks area, is the key to success of getting H-1B visa approval. So pay attention to those details, whether the attorney or the HR manager or the company where the actual job duties are taking place, get those input. There will be a RFP if there is no perfect clarification, as well as if it's a third-party client site or even a job site, there could be a site visit by the Homeland Security try to find out what this foreign worker, H-1B worker, were actually doing, or whether that job is a job which was described in the petition letter. Maybe he's doing something else, or the job duties are not really reflecting the actual job duties which is being taken place at the job site. So job duties in itself is a double-edged sword, as I told you earlier. H-1B visa requires a job, actual job, to be performed, whether in-house at the company site or at a third-party client site. The question just been raised is related to the placement of H-1B workers at the third-party client site. Now, Homeland Security of the USCIS would like to know whether there is actual job or the job site for this particular H-1B worker for the visa to be approved. Now, how are you going to find that? Why are you going to submit that evidence? Where are you going to get that? And how are you going to convince the Homeland Security there is a specialty occupation related job at a particular job site which has been incorporated through the labor condition application? So, matching these multiple variables to the qualification, which we discussed before, is a pretty hard task and needs detailed experience and extensive experience in practicing this specific business immigration law related to the H-1B visas. So do not compromise. When you hire an immigration lawyer, you must make sure the lawyer has been doing this work for a long time and his practice or her practice is dedicated to this field. That is very, very critical. Having said that, now, third-party placement. How are you going to prove it, right? So if I'm placing an employee, H-1B employee, to a third-party client site called ABC Company, what documentation am I going to submit? What documentation the Homeland Security officer would like to review? Here we go. Number one, this company must have signed a contract, okay? Contract will detail they're going to have a purchase order, a contract between these two parties, and they're going to also give you an end client letter. The end client letter would describe what the job duties are going to be. If you are a software engineer, it would say he or she will be responsible for designing, developing, testing, coding applications using .NET, Java, SAP, whatever business data science related tools and technologies, maybe Python, Hadoop, something like that, right? Those are the job duties. So they will also state, in order to perform the foregoing job duties, a person must have a bachelor's degree in computer science. Now the qualification has been stated by that end client to corroborate the need for a bachelor's degree for the H-1B visa. See, we're covering up there through the end client's letter. Not only you are talking, or the employer is talking, or the H-1B employer who filed the H-1B petition is talking, or the attorney is talking. In addition to that, the third-party client, actual end client, also talking about the qualification. So that would immensely help to get the H-1B approval. In addition to that, the company also will state where the job site is going to be, what's the address is going to be. So you have the job site address, you have a qualification, you have a job duties, as well as who has the actual control over this employee, who is responsible for paying remuneration or salary for this employee. So hiring, firing, demoting, promoting, and controlling these employees. So all of these elements should have in that end client letter. So in summary, third-party placement folks must collect contract, they call MSA, Master Service Agreement, purchase order, end client letter, describing the elements I just described. And it will give you a freedom as well as an H-1B approval. Foreign degrees is a mystery in itself. How are you going to know a foreign degree obtained in India or China or Russia or Africa, Kenya or Nigeria is equivalent to US bachelor's degree, right? Each country has maybe a different methodology of calculating these degrees as well as recognizing these degrees. So for the H-1B visa, as a rule of thumb, US bachelor's degree means you have 12 years of high school education and 4 years of college, resulting in 16 years of total education, right? So some countries might have only 15 years of degree. Some country might have 14 years of degree. So we need to evaluate this situation on a case-by-case basis and see there are two things, right? First, whether that degree is related degree to the offered position. And second is whether that degree itself is equivalent to the US degree, which is 16 years of education. So we need to analyze those facts through the credential evaluation companies. We present all of these data. There is an ACE database, as well as there are companies which specialize in granting these degrees, as well as if some doubts are there, these companies will seek the help of a university registrars who has ability to issue a degree, and they can evaluate the foreign degree and give an opinion it is equivalent to US degree. So there are multiple ways of getting the degrees. Now, sometimes these degrees might not be accredited or recognized by that respective government. Then, even though you may have a degree, that degree is not usable in the United States, so it's zero. So what are you going to do in a situation like this? Let's say you have 15 years of experience. So if you have a 15 years of related experience, so we're going to forget about the degree and convert those 12 years of experience, detailed experience letters we're going to obtain, and then the university professor is going to give an expert opinion letter saying these experience which were gained in a multitude of companies or various companies is equivalent to US bachelor's degree. Using the 3 year of work experience is a 1 year of university degree. That means 4 times 3 is 12. So you need a minimum of 12 years of related experience to get a US equivalent bachelor's degree to use for the H-1B visa. So a lot of ways to get to the bachelor's degree, but also you got to be careful you are doing the right thing. Both the Department of Labor as well as the Homeland Security USCIS use Onet. Onet as a rule of thumb in deciding which jobs require a bachelor's degree and which jobs doesn't require a bachelor's degree. Even though the HCFR as well as the Immigration and Nationality Act allows you to use standard for the H-1B as a job requiring certain jobs, you have an industry standard. Maybe it's not written on the Onet, but as an industry standard, everybody in the industry hires for that particular job a person with a bachelor's degree in that related field. So that can be also overcome even though Onet doesn't have it. But most of the time, 90% of the cases are adjudicated by the USCIS using the Onet standard. Now, what does Onet means, right? Onet provides the job duties for that particular job, as well as the qualification needed for that perform the job, and they call job zone and the SPP level. So any SPP higher than 7 or higher is acceptable for the H-1B job. As well as job zone 4 is also acceptable for the H-1B job. So those jobs which requires job zone 4 or bachelor's degree as a minimum is pretty certain to go through. You'll get the approval. But if you have a job zone 3 or SPP level 6, then from the beginning you have a problem. You can still overcome by proving an industry standard or your company's own standard. If you have like 35 people you have hired on H-1B, or for the same job you have hired bachelor's degree people, even though Homeland Security is saying, no, our Onet said something else, you can still overcome. If they deny, you can go to the federal district court and reverse that decision. Possibility is there. Is it 100% certain? Maybe not. So think about this as a stepping stone in filing the H-1B, and please use Onet standard. That is a gold standard for qualification, whether you need a bachelor's degree or you don't need a bachelor's degree. If you don't need a bachelor's degree, then try to find some other ways to overcome or compensate. This particular question pertains to H-1B amendment, extension, and transfer folks who already have a H-1B. They're currently working at a particular job site or company location. However, there is a changes, material changes are taking place in the job, whether it's related to job duties, salary, as well as job location. When these things happen, the company is required to file an H-1B amendment to reflect those changes and incorporate those changes, and the Homeland Security knows what changes have been made. Maybe he moved to a different job site. So what I'm trying to tell you is these changes must be notified. The changes must be notified to the Homeland Security. Now, how are you going to do that, right? Is every time there is minor changes or location changes there, you need to notify. So we need to rely on Semio memo. Semio memo came on or about 2015, I think. It came in 2015. Since then, if a person is moving, H-1B holder is moving within 50-mile radius or commuting distance, they call, or within the same MSA, metropolitan statistical area, then you do not need to file an amended petition so long as you have ability to post the LCA notice to the new job site and notify the workers, the U.S. workers working there, on the arrival of this new H-1B worker into that location. So if you can do that, you might not have to file, but case by case basis. Please contact your experienced immigration attorney and figure out whether that step needs to be taken or not. But if you fail to take it, but you had to amend it for changes in the material changes in the job duties, salary, job location, or any other terms and condition which is going to have any serious impact in that visa category, you must file an H-1B amendment.